Now, the very astute among you might be saying to yourselves, hey, Steve, I for insecurity, but the last episode was Q for queer. The alphabet doesn't go QI, you idiot. And to that I say, listener, I am a stupid man. For some reason, I don't even know what happened. We jumped from Q, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R. It's supposed to be R. And we've got an episode called R for regrets lined up. But totally forgot how the alphabet worked. And then we recorded another I. So we've got 2 I's in this series. We're about to record tonight the episode R for regrets. So that's coming up next. But here is I for insecurity, because I'm a stupid man and I get confused about how stuff works. But I really want you to watch and listen to this episode because it's great. It's with Harry Purdy. He's a brilliant, brilliant guest. So I hope you enjoy it. Just know that I'm fully aware that I'm a stupid man. Hello and welcome to the Steve Calis Show. I'm Steve Calis and I'm joined as per usual by producer George. Producer George, are you okay?
I'm okay, thank you, yeah.
Good
I'm
to
here.
see you, mate.
Yeah, and you?
Last couple episodes have been bangers.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
Well.
I feel like I've done a lot of it as well. A bit scary.
You've been involved a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
It's been good to have,
Yeah.
good to have you here finally, someone consistently.
Well,
Perpetually let
I've always
down.
been consistent.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, oh God.
We're also joined this week by returning guest, handsome Harry Purdy.
Hello, mate.
How you doing, mate? Okay?
All good. Just felt the pressure. 2 bangers previously, and then I'm here. Got to keep the trend.
We're in a
Hat-trick.
good time. Oh, yeah,
Hat
fine.
trick.
What people really want is for me to tell embarrassing stories from my youth. That tends
Quite
to
literally,
be,
yeah.
that tends to be what people enjoy for some heinous, cruel reason.
Nice.
This episode is I for insecurity. Before this episode starts, I just want to say thank you to Graham's Windows and Doors at grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. Thank you, James. Thank you, Sherelle. We really appreciate your ongoing support. That's Graham's windowsanddoors.co.uk, Yeovil's #1 provider of windows, doors and conservatories. And thank you also to Paramount Prizes. Paramount Prizes are an online competition website. They're one of the best in the country. Stu and Natty do a brilliant job of running it. Competitions are brilliant. That's paramountprizes.co.uk. Now, on with the show. So, gentlemen, this episode is I for insecurities. Okay, now we're going to be honest about stuff here because we are all rife with insecurities on some level or another. I suppose with your coach, why don't you tell people about yourself, Harry, in case they haven't come across you before? Who the hell are you, Harry, and what is it that you do?
Okay, yeah, I actually got asked this on a podcast recently, and I got to be honest with you. When I feature on podcasts, I listen back just to see how I've come across and if I've nailed my message and all those kind of things. When I got asked that, it's the first time I was like, I'm just a standard guy that does a few different things than maybe what the normal person does, right? With the endurance running, the podcasting. But before that, obviously, there was this journey of a very insecure young male who was very overweight and has gone on a journey. But yeah, I mean, I'm an average guy. I like to think I'm pretty humble with what I'm doing and where I'm at and all those kind of things. But if we were to use the labels, coach, transformation coach, podcaster, endurance athlete.
Yeah, and hunking specimen these days. I do say you're in immaculate condition these days.
A journey, mate. Yeah, and still a journey that I'm on now. And obviously, it's really nice to hear those compliments and all of those kind of things. But again, it's all of the changes that's happened to my body and all of those kind of things. Really easy to look at it and go, the shiny object. Like, and what's really easy to do as well is be somebody that's been on like a 9-year journey. As I always say, it's like a long time since I was 23 stone now and decided to start making changes. But even though you get into a good headspace and you get nice compliments, people say, wow, like, look at Harry. It's really important to be like, all right, not to just keep changing the next shiny thing and the next like change to your body and whatnot.
Got it. Right. Yeah, but that's good. You're keeping yourself level. Even though you'd be well within your rights to say, look at me, bitches. Harry Purdy's fucking come to play. Look at this thing.
I think when it comes to body transformation and when you've been a big lad, there's always somebody somewhere that does look better than you. and it's always important to not
Harry,
use
please,
the comparison. And
please,
yeah, I know. Yeah,
this is the God gave me this package. I just signed for it.
yeah. I don't know. It may sound really obvious, could sound really obvious for me to say, but when you are in that body transformation game, and something that I'd say to my clients all the time is, like, we are UVU right now. Like, you are in the best shape of you're in the best shape you've ever been in right now. Let's fucking celebrate that, and not like be like, oh yeah, but I'm not this, or I don't look like Taylor Swift, who's staring at me quite.
No one does.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's really important.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure. And it can inspire as well. Like, there's always that element. But then if I was to compare myself to, I don't know, Chris Bumstead, like finished third in world bodybuilding championships, that'd be like an unrealistic thing. I'm not going to dedicate all of my weeks.
Because at least my surname isn't Bumstead. I mean, you got that over him at least. So I was forgot about that aspect of it.
Yeah,
he is a magnificent specimen as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
George, Insecurities.
Riddled with them.
Yeah, no, buddy. It's okay. That's time. Well, because you've been on a very, an incredible physical transformation journey yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. So I was about 18 stone. I was 18 stone, and I've cut down to probably about 12 to 13 now. But as you say, it's a journey. It took me. The actual weight loss only took me about a year, 2 years, but the whole process of it took me probably five years, maybe more, because just getting myself out of the mentality and getting myself out of my routines and stuff like that was the hardest bit. The actual weight loss was kind of the easiest bit.
Yeah.
Once I was in that routine and I was going, then it's just sort of all came together.
So let me ask a question to both of you then. So George, do you have any insecurities that have carried over from when you were a larger man and you were less content with your appearance and stuff?
Yeah, all of it.
Oh, really?
yeah. I've got insecurities about my appearance that will never change. I think my nose is big. I'm never going to get. Well, I don't like the shape of my nose. I'm never going to get plastic surgery or anything like that. It's just it's part of my body.
What's wrong with your nose?
I don't know. I just don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
Do you know what I want to say? My side profile is one of the most heinous things on earth. You know what I mean? But from straight on, I can just about deal with that. I can come to terms with the fact I'm aging. I'm not 18 anymore, right? And then I pivot to my side profile, and it's ghoulish and ghastly. I look like a fucking villain. Do you know what I mean? Someone like that's whispering in the king's ear. I mean, that's why my side profile is, and it's horrendous. It's really good. So I totally understand that. Yeah, there's not an awful lot you can sort of do about that thing. But yours is. Just
but then and then
fine.
From the weight loss, I'm still. I'm still flabby. I'm not exactly a skinny person. I've still got man boobs. I when I look in the mirror, I don't see the new version of me. I just see the old version of me. Yeah, completely. Okay. I mean, that's body dysmorphia, isn't it? But that's essentially what I see is Fat George.
I see.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Harry? Do you have any insecurities that you've carried from the previous incarnation of yourself? Be it socially?
For sure. And do you know what? One of the things that I will always say with my journey is that I've always been out on the front of things, on the face of things, using better English. I've always been okay in social scenarios, even when I was a big lad, but I'd probably mask that back then, like be outlandish, bubbly, loud, eccentric, because I wanted to kind of hide
look at
the
this
fact.
part of me.
Not here. Just look at my big smile. Yeah, for sure. Right. And sometimes now, even and I've spoke about it a lot recently, is that even though I have achieved all of these like cool things now with the running and the body change and all of those kind of things, now I can help other people with their journeys. Is that element of, I guess people would call it imposter syndrome. Like how has this happened? That insecurity of like, what the fuck sometimes, like a pinch me moment. Like, am I even in a position to be able to do this and talk about this from a professional capacity? And then you just got to go like, whoa, like you're 9 years down the line, mate. You're more than entitled. You've got the qualifications to back up what you're chatting about, So I think that comes from a all-round sense of, and actually we spoke before the episode started, that Will Tennyson guy, the coach I was speaking about, he said, and this is why I kind of related to his story. When you are a big fella, I don't know if you can relate to it, George, is even though they're not, you always think people are looking at you. And I think that's something that does carry over. And I think that some people may label that as like social anxiety. But actually, when it comes down to it, one of the biggest lessons that you can learn quickly is nobody does care that much, but that thought is always going to still be there because we are human.
Oh, mate, I tell you, the voices in my head are torturous and never ending. And if I'm walking through somewhere trying to get, especially even at work or wherever I am, my brain's telling me, oh, they're all looking at you and they don't like what they see. Oh, they're pointing and laughing behind your back. Run, fat boy,
That's
run!
mad, isn't it?
Leave me alone, brain. And that's why Or if I'm always assuming that someone's gone, oh, well, I'm going to continue the conversation because he's a nice guy. But that guy's face and body, I've got like awful... because I'm like you. My insecurities are vast and endless. I mean, and it's literally... I mean, I'm good at knowing what I'm good at. I'm good at this. I'm good at being a dad. I'm good at being a fiancé. I'm good at my job. But I always think that people are focusing on the most exposed parts of me, and I always feel I'm insecure all the time, which is what you were saying just now. A lot of my personality comes from going, "Hey, buddy, look at my personality, not my body or my face," right? I'm just trying to distract from the fact that I feel like just Quasimodo. I always feel like Esmeralda. I always feel like that's how people perceive me. You know what I mean? I can't see I often look at my fiancée. And frustratingly, she's getting more and more attractive as the years go on. She's always been Helen of Troy to me. Perfect specimen, right? But she's just getting better looking all the time. And every day I was like, well, you have to fucking ease up on this. Because I'm headed very much the other way. You know what I mean? I'm starting to look like your older lesbian auntie going out with you. Do you know what I mean? It's really starting to affect my self-image. So I've got a million insecurities. What we fucking need is some serious counselling. But now I'm at my new job. I'm going to the gym more regularly. I'm eating more regular meals because my previous job as a security guard, you have to just fucking eat whenever you can. Your hours all over the shop, your sleep's all over the shop. But now it's fixed, regulated. I've lost a couple of pounds. I'm feeling much stronger and faster and a bit more sort of alert. So we're sort of staggering up the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knackered old car. We're sort of getting there. So yeah, I understand.
I think there's a guy that I was privileged to listen to a couple of years ago, and a guy called Peter Sage. I spoke about him before, just in my own stuff, and he is like a self-development guru, one of those, and very much down my street. And he uses the analogy of goop, like everybody, or 90% of people are stuck in goop, which is acronym for good opinion of other people. And if you're stuck in goop, then you can almost retrain yourself. I think, again, another little side point to that is that as human beings in general, we're all really good at picking up on a negative thing, right? And one thing that I probably have got better at just through training is that negative voice that used to just linger, like you're talking about. Not argue with it, because you'll always lose an argument with your brain. You're just like going to get caught in that tennis match, but just be like, okay, I hear you, but here's something positive about me, And like I say, you're not arguing, but you're just given that time to just reflect and be like, oh, like George, like I may be thinking this about me, but I have done what I said I would, and I've lost 5 stone. Steve, like the same for you, like you have these like an insecurity about what someone's thinking about you, but they also might be thinking, fuck me, this guy's got a podcast that's been going 4 years, that's pretty cool. So there's always something that you can't have a negative thought without you can't have a positive thought without backing it up with something negative. And then that works both ways though, like a battery. You can't power a battery without charge going in both in like negative or the positive.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good. Yeah, that is the thing. And I've got better at that, to be fair, when I became a dad, because what I'm always trying to do is highlight the things that are wrong with my brain and my thought processes, and then go, how do I fucking sort that out? So when Leo inevitably grows up and has very similar issues to me, I can then steer him one way or another, help him, guide him, give him the advice that he needs. So I'm a bit more better. I'm quite self-aware, and it's just that what I'm trapped with is my eating habits, like my diet. If I could just stop being such a fat greedy wanker.
You need to eat gruel like I do.
No, the way you do it is like, do you ever watch the Da Vinci Code film?
Yeah.
Do you know that monk that whips himself?
Oh, God.
You do that, but with porridge.
I love porridge too. Yeah,
you're always just sort of flagging yourself with porridge.
I do that. Yeah.
So I wish I could be that. Although to be fair, if I do something, it has to be extreme. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I can't just do things sort of moderately. So maybe I'll go down the sort of gruel route that you want.
I can hook you up.
Yeah, I know. I don't want. I know. But the way you did lose your weight was like that, wasn't it? I suppose
it was completely routine driven. As soon as I got into a routine and I was eating 1,800 calories a day, that's what I set my goal. I just did that consistently, and the food, it's just there for nourishment. It's not there for for being nice necessarily.
Yeah. I thought I had to walk past you, like, because we've got a big, beautiful, like, cafeteria at work and kitchen, and I walk past the fucking cookies that Leanne makes in a big, beautiful,
Yeah, I can imagine.
fresh out the oven. And she'll say, "These are fresh out the oven." And I can hear them go, "You're not going to walk away, are you?" And they're just like, yeah. They're not going to walk away from me, are you, Steve? And I go, "Oh no, cookie." And I got a horrible relationship with food where what it is sugar addiction. It's heinous sugar addiction that I just can't shake. So let me ask you this, Harry.
Go on.
Because we talked about this a little bit, I think, before we did your show, and I want to get your honest opinion on it because I'm about to slip into this unless you can change my mind in the next 3 minutes.
Go on.
No pressure. But we've what do you make of weight loss injections, drugs? I suppose you call it weight loss aids.
Yeah, I mean, there is a place for these drugs on the market, right? There are people who are in a position with their health, with their lifestyle, that need some assistance in a professional manner from somebody who knows what, how much to give you in terms of like the quantity of the drug, like how to wean you on and then off, like any kind of strong drug. Like with steroids, you start small if you're trying to recover from something serious like an injury or a real heavy illness. The same with antidepressants and anxiety medication, right? You start small, they up it if you need to, and then obviously you get weaned off. And that's the same with how the weight loss drugs should work as well. You should start on a smaller dose to see how your body reacts, see how your hunger hormones react and all of those kind of things. Measure your weight loss to ensure that you don't get like insanely dramatic weight loss at the start, and then like you're basically chasing like an unrealistic goal throughout that journey, right? What is potentially troubling for a health coach, somebody that like I want the best for people, is that I see people doing it privately, over medicating themselves with the weight loss drugs, losing weight too fast, and then getting that, like they call it the Ozempic face, don't they?
I'm worried about that. Yeah.
And also the fact that when we talk about healthy lifestyle and healthy living, this isn't, and one thing that I'd always say as well is like, if anybody was to ever work at me, if you came to me and was just like, "Harry, I just want to lose weight," like I'm probably not your ideal coach, because what I want to do is I don't want to fall into the same trap that I got into, which was I lost loads of fucking weight to begin with. I lost 5 stone, realised my brain was fucked in 2020, had like a mental breakdown and realised that I needed to then also work on that side of me, funnily enough, which a conversation maybe for in a minute. But going back to the point is that, the weight loss drug will do exactly what it says on the tin. Right, it will make you lose weight if regulated and done correctly, but all of your bad habits are still left the same. So you can take the weight loss drug and, in your scenario, if you don't mind me saying, be like, "Oh, I'm not that hungry, but Leanne's cookie is still calling my name. That's going to be my food for the day." And then, like,
I see what you mean.
And then you're which is essentially when you go into, like, you've only got to listen to George's example for that, right? He made a habit quite quickly, and fucking kudos to him. There's a bit of discipline around that. What I'm saying is, when you may lose that weight with the cookie diet and the jabs.
If you're still a greedy fat wanker, you'll still be a greedy fat wanker when you lose the weight.
Well, and this is like, but I would use a different language to that. You're
You're a professional, man, and you should.
Your habits would still be the same unless challenged after that.
Right, I see.
So, and even the same with an appointment with your GP, you can go in and go, "Hey, Mr. Calis, how's your weight loss stuff going?" You could go, "Yeah, it's going great. I've lost 2 stone and I'm eating 3 salads a day. My veggies and fruit is up." But you could be lying out your fucking ass.
Yeah, I see.
Because they're not monitoring. It's a bit like PT, right? And this is, I've used PTs for a long part of my journey. They can unless you're paying them for 2 sessions a week, they see you for 1 hour. The rest of that time that you're in your life and doing your own thing, they got no control over. Your session may be the best fucking PT session in the whole world, but unless you got something sorted for when you leave the gym, you're still going to be going around in that circle. Yeah,
I see. So it's a psychological thing. You need to do a nice deep excavation of your mind and your bad habits and your worry. But full MOT, I suppose, body and brain.
Yeah, man. And this is something that I've always had counter arguments with myself around, like it's chicken and the egg scenario, right? What do you need to look after first when it comes to like having a healthier outlook or healthier brain, healthier body? Do you work on the fitness side of things and lose weight first? Should that be the thing that everyone concentrates on, or should it be like the journaling, the meditating, the like positive reminiscence, the affirmations, the gratitude, and all of those kind of things? I genuinely think you have to chuck it all in a big bucket and go and do both.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? 'Cause you can't do, because if I was just to work on the, say, well, Joe, I'm going to give myself 6 months to really go to counselling and sort my brain out, it wouldn't have the impact I want to have, because the person having that counselling is just a big fat wanker, and he's a disgusting, sweaty fucking. So I'm still that guy, and I still would loathe those parts of myself, even if I'm going through that sort of therapy. So you're right, just. Get all of it, stick it all in the bottle, because you're right, and that's the thing. Because my thing is binge eating. That's the thing. Because I could fast, I can control. That's what I mean when I say I got to do it in extreme ways. Because I can fast for 2 days or 3 days, just water fasting, and be alright and deal with it. And then, but if I'm not trying to be like that, I can binge eat, and I can just eat 6 peanut butter sandwiches and a fuckload of cake, and I feel like and I'm like, Joe, I'm miserable most of the time and depressed most of the time because I'm fucking sugar crashing, and I'm like, filled with regret and remorse for the things I've just eaten, and that's been a cycle of my life since I was about 12 years old. So it's fucking. So I need to just sort of get over all of that, really. So I don't know, but that's why like the lure of these drugs is tempting, isn't it? Because you can go, well, that can just be sort of doing its thing in the back. Fiance just run past. Chinese on the way.
Streaker. No.
It wasn't clothes on. She's always doing that. The lure of the drug for me is like, oh my god, that can just work in the background whilst I sort out my routine. I'm in a nice routine. That can just give a boost on it. Because then maybe I'll then see if I'm making progress. I can go, right, I don't want to lose this. This is happening, and I can complement this with that. And I guess that's what I'm thinking, and it's readily available. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm in a real quandary about that. Would you have considered that at the start of your journey if they'd said, "We shave 2 years off this thing"?
I think one of the things is, you talk about the joke about the Da Vinci Code and the flogging. That is a bit of part of it is. If there's no consequences to the food that I eat and stuff like that, then I'm not going to make any progress. And I definitely had that feeling as well. So if I've eaten one of Leanne's cookies, which I absolutely would, I've seen Leanne. I follow Leanne on Instagram. She makes incredible food. I would eat all of it. But what I've been doing recently, I've been slipping a bit. So I've been eating those things and then eating my normal dinner, having a hot chocolate in the evening for my sweet treat. But I've already had a sweet treat that day, so I kind of need to punish myself. It's probably not very healthy. I mean, but it works for me. I've spent years and years trying to figure this out. If there's no consequences, I just keep doing it. I'll keep eating. I'll keep putting on weight. And then that's a vicious circle from then not being bothered to go to the gym, not being bothered to do exercise. So the punishment for me is, if you've eaten too much, you've eaten too much. Like, that's the goal. And calorie counting isn't healthy, but again, it works for me, and I do eat fairly well.
I'd counter that though, see. When people say that calorie, not to interrupt, like I think it makes
you're the professional.
Calorie counting isn't an unhealthy habit unless it's something that you like have noticeably done for like, I don't know, fucking 5 years straight, right? Without like one break. If you can't go a day without calorie counting, then I'd maybe question your attachment to. But could you go on holiday? Like,
I do. Man.
So like, I am all right, that's where I'm like, okay, like that's good balance. Whereas, and people who haven't calorie counted before in the past, who may be struggling with like their own weight loss journeys, and you say, look, I know you don't want a calorie count, but let's just do 2 weeks. Let's do a 2-week agreement that every day for the next 2 weeks that you just track what you're eating, right? And they go and do that, and they agree to that little like agreement that you've got between coach client, and then they go, oh fuck, like now I get it, right? That block of cheese that I was putting on my spaghetti bolognese wasn't just a 10 grams of cheese, it was 40, and I can see why I was going over my calories.
That's exactly
so
what it did for me. It taught me portion control and stuff like that, because I had no idea before.
I respect your discipline at being able to tell the truth on those things. I would lie if I had a coach every 2 weeks. I would lie, and he'd say, "Wow,
Yeah, but the
really
scales
impressive
wouldn't lie.
that Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'd be out.
So
and
that's where that punishment comes in. If I've had that sweet treat,
Yeah.
I can't have some chips that night, you know. So and that's how I sort of play it.
Yeah.
And what the drug would do for me is it would be weight loss without consequence.
Yeah, skew.
Yeah,
It's a skewing thing.
Yeah. So I would just still eat because I would still be losing weight, so there would be no consequence to my eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. We need a dominatrix. Just spank you in the bum and call you a naughty boy every time you do something like that.
I think as well, like you can use the comparison of like somebody that's forever been depressed or had a low mood, and like they come to their mates and they say, "Oh, lads, like or girls, like I'm doing this thing. I know what I'm doing, but I'm not doing anything about it, and I'm feeling shit. And I've been to the doctors, and they're gonna help me, and like we're gonna go on antidepressants for like 6 weeks to 12 weeks without being. I'm not trying to be controversial here, right? But then they're like they've got a plan in place, that they've got an agreement with their therapist, and they've spoke to their friends about it. But then in 12 weeks' time, it comes back around, and the girls are like, or the boys are like, oh yeah, like so how's it going? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm still doing that thing. And then you're like, okay, like there's one little element here to what's missing right now is like there's a lot of reliance on other people right now, but like you yourself has to step up at some point and go like, I really want this
100%.
change.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that can sound a little bit like sometimes that's scary, right? And one of my the 100% philosophy, one of the 5/5 of that, which links into like one of my like big memories from when I was having suicidal thoughts, intrusive thoughts in 2020, was is to take responsibility and be your own hero. That's one of my coaching philosophies that I will work with clients on straight away, to be like, right, like yes, I'm here to help you, but right now you have to make a decision to accept that help. And it falls back into that scenario of you can lead a horse to water sometimes. They gotta want to drink, and it's the same in the terminology of like feeling better and like being a better version of you, and like and nutrition and healthy living. There's got to be an element of like, right, like here's a line. This isn't a diet now. This is a complete change of me. I'm going to step over this line and never look back.
That's excited about.
Well, that's exactly what I told myself. Actually, weirdly, I refused to call it a diet. I definitely it wasn't a diet. I just changing my lifestyle. That's all I did.
Well, if you were to look at something like Slimming World or Weight Watchers, and I don't know if you've ever known anybody that's done that. I've had family members, like even parents, that have been going to Weight Watchers for like 2 years religiously, and you're like, something's not quite right about this. You're paying them to just go and weigh, and either like go and starve yourself for the day of the weigh-in, just to come in lighter on the scales, and then go home and be like fish and chips, fish and chips, right? And this is where there's so many different caveats. I'm going to use these words loosely. The fitness industry is. There's some incredible people out there, but there are also some coaches that don't handle both sides of the coin. And if somebody was to come to me as well and say like, I've got an eating disorder or whatever, that's not my bag, right? Like I want to change people's lifestyles from maybe a place where they've got a little bit of inspiration, or they're on the cusp of am I going to choose healthy lifestyle or weight loss injection, like kind of vibe. I want to try this, like, and step up and be the hero, take responsibility first with some professional help, rather than like try and cover all the unhealthy habits and like hide the maybe the dark side of the brain that maybe has been left to just kind of fester for a little while, and just focus on weight loss and diet, which is where the culture and the industry maybe lacks sometimes.
Yeah, I totally understand, because I was having a conversation. A story that I always tell, I told on your show, but never told you, is when I went to my dad's when I was younger. I was a teenager, and I was midway through telling him a story, and he went, "Shut up." Shut up, right? And he's been real rude.
Nice.
I was going, what? He goes, "You're fucking boring. You haven't told a joke for months. You're boring. Everything you say is a complaint, yada, yada." And it was right. I've been depressed for months. And then I got home, I was going, how do I deal with it? Maybe I'll go to the doctors and get fucking antidepressants again. And then I was like, well, no, that's not what it is. The reason I'm depressed is because I've got a girlfriend. I almost have sex with me. I've got no money. I'm living in this shithole flat. I haven't seen the sun for 3 months. You know, I mean, just all the things that we know are good for our brain and are good for us. I just hadn't been doing any of those things, and then like just going like a flower trying to grow in the shade, just going, why isn't this working? And what I need is a little bit of something. And I hadn't done any exercise. I was eating really badly. Things that we know work and fuel the engine, I was totally neglecting all those things. And my dad, very lovingly
called you out on it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I do want to say, whilst we're at this point in the show, thanks for reminding me, Producer George, is that if you're enjoying the show and you've enjoyed our previous episodes, then please consider going to Spotify, clicking the follow button and leaving us a 5-star review. It really helps us. It helps ping us all over the planet to India and China for some reason recently. We're being listened to there. So it really does help, and it really it makes a difference to us. We want to be a Spotify Top 100 podcast. We can only get there with your help. Thank you. I mean, I don't know, you might not like these examples, because I think what I was going to say is like, George or I walk in and we say, Harry, help. We've got, you know that we're riddled now with issues and problems. And but what do you do? What does your coaching consist of? Let's start there. As a rule, what does your coach? If I came to you, or if someone was to come to you, what can they expect?
I think the first thing that everybody needs to consider in terms of when they go to a coach in general, especially me, is that being really specific on what it is that you want to happen by the end of it. And I'll always say that there's like a ABC goal that we can achieve, A being the number one thing that you'd be absolutely delighted to walk away with after 6 months, B being the second, and then obviously the C makes sense, right? The third thing. That's really important, because then that gives a bit of a basis as to what it is that we're working on, right? It's not everybody, I can't just go like Joe Wicks style body coach blueprint, here's a PDF file that works for, you know what I mean? It's like really specific. So then you go, okay, so what are we doing that's really important to identify that you're doing right now that's stopping you doing this on your own? Yeah. And then and sometimes a lot of my coaching, it can feel a bit admin-y, because a lot of my coaching, I'm like, here's some work to do, come back to me when you're ready. And then we can break that down, right? Because a lot of the time, in fact, I'm going to be brash and say 99% of the time a client will know what they're doing wrong before they come to you anyway. They just need an arm around the shoulder, somebody to give a fuck and say, actually, like, here's where you might be going wrong scientifically or nutritionally or with your training, or actually you're telling me a lot about this like passion thing that you've been hiding back behind you for ages. Let's just bring that a little bit more in front and make your life a little bit more exciting. And then all of these ABC goals are going to come way more fucking easy. And I think as well in the 21st century, it's really important to say that, like, there's a lot of dopamine addiction right now. I'm not saying that I can like untrain you from your dopamine, but what I'm saying is that what my coaching will do is it will make you go a little bit more like intrinsic on how to get those feel good things. And when that happens, a bit like what you said about a plant that's been in the shade for a long period of time, you stick it in the sun and you start adding those healthy habits, start getting people to focus on maybe more of the positive shit that's happening in their lives and the positive things that they can bring to their lives as well, and other people in their lives, that you realize that journey that they want to go on almost creates itself in an ideal scenario. Of course, there's some situations where you do need to just like rewind and go back to that self-analysis point, maybe redirect the goals and stuff. But when that's in place and you've got a real good breakdown of like where it is that people want to go to from a sense of like how they have enough fun in their life, how like is there like some financial stress that's really like kicking off in the background that's causing the stress to come out in a way that like they're binge eating, or they're feeling anxious or not feeling happy within themselves, or something like it is genuinely I'm inspired and I want to come, like really I would say they're the easier clients, right? I'm inspired, I want to go out and run a fucking ultra marathon, right? That's like something that they've got that motivation to do. But going back to the question, there's like something I would say is really specific about the 100% philosophy, and it's the 5/5 of what 100% are. And this is going to be a test now, a good thing for me to break down on the show.
Baby, sell it. Tell us what it is.
Well, no, it's just, and you know what? Like, one thing I would say is that every good coach that I've listened to books of or worked with, had the pleasure of working with, there's normally like they're based around like the 5 planets or the 5 philosophies. So it's normally around fitness, finance, fun, focus, so like around your brain, and family. So like if you've got like a bit of focus in all of those. But my philosophies are: take responsibility, be your own hero. The one thing that I'll coach people on automatically and try and get people thinking about all the time is, are you treating yourself right now as you would do a friend or family member? On the podcast I was previously on, I mentioned that to the host, and he was like, "Oh shit, that's such a like. This plate of food that I'm put in front of me right now, like the I don't know, the bag of crisps, or would I hand that to my son?" Like, and just be like, go on then. Like, and I know that sounds like quite a basic thing, but actually when you think about it, you're like, oh shit, no, I probably wouldn't do that. So why am I doing that to myself? Do you have a passion? I think that's something that's really important for, I hate to use the word purpose because it can sound a bit fucking, like, I don't know what it can sound like. It sounds a bit basic or a bit sort of alpha male-y, like you need a purpose. No, it's not about that. It's just having something that you care about that takes your focus away from, I want to lose weight, right? Because I think if you go to somebody, or if you, as an individual, if you say that all I want to do right now is lose weight, that makes losing weight really fucking hard. So having other focuses that you can like work on, little passion projects, which you're ahead of the game, mate. Already, you've got
I thought so.
Yeah, you've got your passion project already. Journal focused is another one of my my principles, because I, again, with the dopamine, this is a tangent, sorry, but it's really important, I promise. With journaling, I think at the bare minimum, especially if you're into any form of health, let's call it health or wellness, just redirecting your brain every day as to like what's cool, what's going well, and how you want to feel is really important. Because without going too tinfoily hatty, there's so much distraction out there right now that could let you know and tell you consistently that the world's fucking blowing up. And I said this on my most recent podcast about, I'm not being toxically positive right now, but what is going on in the world right now is quite stressful. So it's really important to go, actually, like, yeah, that's happening here, but this is good, this is good, this is good. And if you don't do that, you can they call it like getting drawn into autopilot, like thinking automatically that everything's really fucking shit, when actually, like, you've got loads of things going on in front of you. That's 4 of them. And the 5th one, I've got to like remember my slides in my head.
The 5th one would be frequent and often anal penetration. Go to what?
yeah.
Jesus, Harry.
But you should have been on the last podcast. The 5th 20% or the final bit to the concoction is that you're taking some form of action towards your physical mental health every day, right? And what I think is really important when I talk about this is that we're not saying you've got to go out and smash your fucking PB squat and make sure you hit a 2-hour gym session or go out and run 10k. This is like just a couple of if you're like low on energy and you're like, shit, I've had a stressful day with the kids today, like I've still got to cook dinner. Like, what is one thing in 10 minutes that you could do that's going to nourish your brain, or even like make sure that when you're cooking your kids that dinner, that your dinner is just a little bit more nutritious than theirs. Like just those little kind of actions that you can take. And then at the end of the day, like I say, with being journal focused, you can go, do you know what? Although I was really fucking rammed today, I didn't get in the gym, but what I did do was I took 10 minutes and I sat down and I closed my eyes and had a 10-minute meditation, and I did check in my journal, and also I chucked some like greens with my dinner this evening, you know. And I think when you can break things down and celebrate those little wins gather momentum. And it's like, when I always say that, the analogy of the boulder over the hill, when you can start gathering a little bit of momentum on that boulder and be like chucking those green beans at the boulder and chucking that journal entry at the boulder, it'll start to move. And when you start to stack them up and you look back through your pages of your journal and you're like, shit, like that's a win, that was really cool, that like I'm really pleased that I did that this week, I know that day didn't go to plan, but I've bounced back today, then you're on a fucking flyer. And it's about just stacking them up and like, don't miss twice.
Boom. There you go. That's all 5 of you.
All 5. Are you taking notes, Steve?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be editing it for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a man. I'm going to know more about Harry's philosophy than Harry. I'm going to know it. Well, okay, so that's good. So is there anything about insecurities in general? Give you an example of when you were younger, of someone, what kids are very good at, especially teenagers, is finding that insecurity and then hammering it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking earlier about my side profile and my fucking beak, because I got a thing on my nose, but my nose is like, it comes outwards. You know what I mean? It comes out like it's not. What do you mean? Jesus Christ! I sat passively through your fucking nose talk.
Mate, Joe, I'll get involved here, because I've always not enjoyed my side profile neither. I always think that if I was to do backstroke in the sea, they'd fucking sound the alarms, be like doing it.
You've got a nice jaw.
Now I do. I used to look like a fucking what are those great big sharks with the with basking shark back in the day.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling better. But then you got chin and jaw now. As my face is sinking into my throat like that town from Lord of the Rings that's built out of the cliff. I mean, it's slowly like disappearing, and so that's a lot.
Can I drop this one in? When I was in the midst of my like starting to hit the gym and stuff, my missus is gonna hate this if she listens to it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Was on like an away day with my job at the time, I won't say the name, and the best compliment I ever had in my life was she was like, "Fuck me, you look like Mr. Incredible." I was like,
really?
Whoa. Yeah. But the reason I was like, why? She's like, your jawline. So I had basically, that's a massive jaw, but I was like, wow, like something must be changing right now. A compliment from a woman. Whoa,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that must be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even my own fiance. Yeah, that's nice, man. That's good. Yeah. And but what's nice is like I know my good qualities. Like, that's why I get like suspicious of my fiance, because she's very like, she sort of likes the way I am. She likes my body, and she likes like, and I'm going, what's your fucking game? I'm not rich. You know what I mean? Like, she's playing a long game, and then she suspects I'm going to be a famous podcaster one day, and she's putting the work in now to get some of that money. But she's,
I am.
Yeah. I know, and you're gonna get it. You're gonna get that bag, George. Appreciate the work ethic. And you, it's funny because I think teenagers, when you're a kid, the bullying is horrendous, but every now and then it does highlight something where you go, "Oh, you prick! Yeah, right. You're fucking right about that. I'm this, or I've got that," and then it'll stay with you for the rest of your life because something you can't do anything about, i.e., your nose or jawline or something, and it's fucking harrowing. And I suppose insecurities are. What's interesting is watching my son. He has adopted a lot of my insecurities, because like if we go to the park with him and his mates, he's really careful on the climbing frame, right? He hasn't had a big accident on the climbing frame. But what he has is my voice in his ear going, like, careful, careful, mate. Yeah. And that's made him be more careful, more anxious about this thing. I'm like bleeding my anxieties into him, and that's really fucking stressful. So I'm trying to be more cool. We went to the park 2 days ago, and he's like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, all his mates playing the thing, and he's pretending to be a chicken, like running laps around this thing, pretending to be a chicken. And I'm going, right, he's doing his own thing. And then he tried to jump up and then off the slide, and I was like, I want to be careful. So my insecurities, I need to get a handle on, because they're spilling onto my son, and I really don't like that. And plus, I find that I start to believe the things I say, even if if I use some of my insecurity as a joke or a regular riff, I do start to believe that, and then. So the opposite must be true. If I'm much more positive about myself, then that will sink in. Hopefully.
Yeah, but how common is that though for the bigger? And I was guilty of this at the time as well. Back in 2018 up to 2021, I would make like big jokes about myself,
or like joke before someone else.
Like you're the bit like and like. Almost a bit like Smithy was in Gavin and Stacey. He kind of like, it was like the butt of the joke that Smithy would have 2 fucking curries, and that like I'd have the like Chinese chicken fried rice and the crispy chicken balls. You know what I mean? Like 2 of my like fuck off.
Yeah,
you think you're having one of my chicken balls? That's you right. Stay away. You know?
You have to get ahead of it. That's always been my code. That's where my sense of humor come from. Is always getting there first, so that they can't hurt me. I've already made the funny joke. Yeah, and everything else you've got is a lazy witticism.
The Eminem.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Spit, isn't it? Yeah.
I guess so. Hip hop boys.
You never watched 8 Mile?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Clarence, you ruined names.
Yeah.
You ruined Clarence. Your parents are fucking.
I am white. I do live in a trailer with my mum.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, so it sucks all the material out.
Yes.
So he can't use it against him. Yeah, that's right. Good analogy. Good work. You've been coaching. You know your stuff. That's good. You just pulled out of the air. Good work. So is there anything else that we want to explore about insecurities before we finish the episode?
Nothing for me, no. I don't want to talk more about my insecurities, I don't think.
Yeah,
no.
Sure?
Yeah.
Another nose thing, or do you want to keep...
What's my biggest insecurity?
Now I'm sort of looking at that thing, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's the side...
No, your side profile's literally fine.
I don't know, it's just a bit...
What you need is some kind of counselling. To see yourself the way everybody else around you sees you, right? Because you might be a Stan. Have you ever watched American Dad?
Yes.
where Stan gets anorexia. And he's like, well, fucking look at me. And everyone, in reality, he's like hauntingly thin.
Well, I have weird days where one day I've got one type of body dysmorphia where I think I'm really buff and look really great, you know, and I'm like, could be on stage.
Oh, yeah.
And then another day where I'm like, you're hideous, I hate you.
I was exhausted in it, mate.
Yeah.
There's sometimes where like I'll walk past a reflection, especially after the gym. That's when I'm at peak feeling myself. Right? I go, oh, I'm fucking strong, and I'll walk past. I'll go, yo, what chest? Okay, look at that shit. And then I'll relax, walk past another window, and go, oh, Jesus Christ! It looks like your intestines are exploding, and it just froze that way. It's harrowing, isn't it? I feel your pain. It's exhausting. That noise is exhausting. It's fucking retaxing. So, Harry, I really appreciate you bringing your wisdom once again onto the Steve Calis Show.
You're welcome, man.
Is there anything that you wanted to go over or address before we called it a day?
I think it's obviously I do, right? I'm a podcaster, I'm a coach, so I like to talk, but I think it's really important to really hone in on the importance of it, to share that even though like you and I stick ourselves out on social media to the great wide harrowing world, George is saying, there's always some form of insecurity, and you wouldn't be human without having that some form of insecurity, right? If you're to think of your insecurity as something that's abnormal and something that you put a lot of focus on, then it can like turn into something a little bit bigger than what it is, like, oh, that insecurity, or that's going to stop me doing this and that's going to stop me doing that, when actually it's just something that's completely and utterly intertwined from like our Homo sapien days, you know, like when we needed to feel secure by our tribe. Otherwise, if we were left in the lurch out in the fucking desert or like outside of the tribal village, then we were going to starve, we were going to fucking die, we were going to get eaten by saber-toothed tigers, right? So it's like an innate feeling of a human to feel some form of like, oh, are they judging me, right? That's number one. The second thing, that if it keeps cropping up, a lot of insecurity can resolve around self-esteem and confidence. And one sure way, this is a bit of a motivation drop for you at the end of the pod, is one sure way to improve your self-esteem and confidence is to stop breaking promises to yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, Steve.
I don't know. Am I doing that? I suppose so. Yeah. Well, obviously, I do it all the time. Actually, thinking about it. Well, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to stop being this. We're going to do this from tomorrow. We're going to be totally different human beings.
Yeah, but then again, that's a normal thing. I don't want that to be like, that's the fucking answer. But I'm saying, like, if, you know, the language and the promises and the goal setting, and if it's just swept under the carpet, like month by month, then that's going to come back around in some form of other energy, right? So, yeah, let's go, guys.
Yeah, let's go there. Let's go, guys. So, Harry, thank you so much for being on the show again. I really appreciate it. You're a wise, magnificent Viking.
You like people calling people a Viking.
I like big men.
Yeah.
I get distracted by large, beardy men.
Thank you, mate. That is what I am.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's what I am.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. So where can people find you, mate?
Harry Purdy Official on Instagram, and if they want to come and listen to another podcast based in Yeovil, 100% Podcast on all your usual podcast platforms.
That's right, 100% Podcast on all good podcast platforms. George?
Hello.
Where the hell can people find you these days?
I am the Good Lad Gamer on YouTube.
Nice
Yeah. But my laptop's broken, so no videos for a minute. So that's cool. But yeah, the Good Lad Gamer on YouTube.
Well, use this. Use a computer now if you want to.
Nah, that's all right.
No?
I won't be able to do it.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, George is the Good Lad Gamer on YouTube. Harry Purdy is from the 100% Podcast. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook, all the places. And I am Steve Calis. This has been the Steve Calis Show. We are on a journey from A to Z, exploring every aspect of the human condition along the way. We're learning a great deal. We are talking about jizz and homosexuality and anger and beauty and all sorts of things. That's really interesting. So thank you for coming along the ride. We really appreciate it. And I will say ciao for now. Thank you, boys.
Thank you
I'll see
very
you
much.
next time. Ciao, ciao, ciao.